Minister, I pressed at the Business Committee that we should have this debate because this issue of the National Children's Hospital, the massive overruns involving hundreds of millions of euros of public money, and the resignation of the Chief Procurement Officer from the board of the National Children's Hospital Development Board are an example of the really substantial, important issues that have been overshadowed by the Dáil voting scandal. And of course, the Dáil voting scandal has many aspects which critically for many people have called into question the integrity and credibility of the voting system and this House, and they need to be investigated in and of themselves. But it is also one of the unfortunate consequences of all of this, that an issue like this, which quite frankly I think would have been at the top of the news agenda, were it not for that, because this is an issue of enormous national importance, and the country has been scandalised by the level of the overruns, going from initial estimates of over 500 million, then up to 766 million, then up to 983 million, then up to 1.4 billion, now talk of 1.7 billion, and suggestions that it will in fact go over 2 billion. Hundreds and hundreds of euros of money that could have been allocated to other things, and indeed overruns which may well affect other vitally needed health capital projects. I mean, Deputy Smith told me, for example, there's serious questions over a primary care centre in her own area, in Drimna. She's not certain about the fate of it, but seems to, having been on the capital programme, doesn't appear to be on the capital programme now. She's asked questions about it, so I don't know for certain, but the point is, this is a lot of money and people have been scandalised about it. And against that background, I frankly find the response of the Taoiseach and yourself in your own statement about the resignation of the Chief Procurement Officer really quite incredible. The Chief Procurement Officer, Mr Quinn, was appointed by the Government, by the Minister for Health in 2013. Okay? So it was a government appointment, and presumably he was appointed because of expertise in the area of public procurement. He is put in charge of the largest capital project ever in the history of the state. That project then spirals out of control in terms of underestimates. A damning report we have recently from PwC saying how badly mishandled it was, how gross the underestimates were, how the failure to anticipate higher demands from contractors and so on. And then against that background and rumours that the Taoiseach is briefing the Leader of the Opposition about possible further overruns because of further demands from contractors that could push it well above the already shocking figure, and the Minister says the resignation of the Chief Procurement Officer is not really a matter for comment. I mean, I just find that unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, Minister. That you don't think that's news, or that the Taoiseach could say, oh, this is just a private matter, it's nothing to do with me, why on earth would I make a statement about it? That stretches credibility, right? Because most people, would you not accept, looking on, who are looking for transparency, clarity, answers, accountability, when it comes to the scandal of the hospital, would say, well, that's a bit odd, isn't it? Yet another resignation from a key civil servant, not just responsible for public procurement on this, but in charge of public procurement more generally, in charge of, what, 9 billion worth of public procurement on the year that he was installed, that there's no questions, no comment to be made by the Minister. This is not a subject of interest. Well, I think it is a huge subject of interest for the public, and frankly, your answer is not acceptable. And the Taoiseach's approach to this is not acceptable. There needs to be a full explanation as to whether the resignation was linked to the continuing and likely increasing cost overruns on the National Children's Hospital, which is already a major national scandal.